Good morning students. Today we are going to see in History Unit 1 a new religious ideas and movement. Introduction part. Medieval India saw an extraordinary development in devotional poetry, and that was not based on one particular religion but inspired by different religious movement. These movements were held together called Bhakti to God could save man from the pitfall. So this devotional movement were called as Bhakti that will save the man from the pitfall, some extreme dangerous situation and earn him salvation. So that Bhakti will save the man from the danger, and salvation is nothing but vimochanam. It was believed that one does not have to go to temple or perform any yagas for God. In omnipresent, the God is present in every human being. The Bhagavad Gita proposed that the path of Bhakti Marga is superior to the two other religious approaches. So, the Bhagavad Gita proposed the Bhakti Margam that there are two ways to reach the God, namely Jnana, the path of knowledge, and Karma, the path of ritual and good works. So if a person have to reach the God means he have to do this two approaches, Jnana and Karma. Next we are going to see Bhakti movement, the beginning. The Bhakti movement has been started in Tamil Nadu during the 17th century AD, and that includes reciting the name of the god or goddess and singing hymns in their praises, wearing religious marks and carrying identity emblem, and also visiting the pilgrimage places for getting the devotional literature from the god. The mutual emotional attachment and love of a devotee towards a personal god and the god for the devotee. So, they emphasized that there will be a mutual understanding between the devotee and the god. There will be a mutual love, that is the devotee will have love towards the god, and similarly the god will have love towards the devotee. This was preached by Sufism, and that is nothing but the early Islams. So Sufism were the early Islam people. Sufism also believed that God can be achieved only through, we can reach the God only through passionate devotion. So ultimate devotion will make the man to reach the God, and intense meditation. So by doing meditation also we can reach the God. They also argued that doing this type of thing will make the devotee from all the worldly bond and help them become one with God. So, all the bond that is related towards the world will be left, and it will make the devotee to ultimately reach the God. There is only one God, though Hindu and Muslim call him different names, stately Haridasa. So Haridasa stated that there is only one God, though Hindus and Muslims call them in different names. So the Sufism also followed the same view, and they said that the ultimate way to reach the God is by doing passionate devotion and intense meditation. They also argued that doing this type of thing we can ultimately reach the God, and will have more bond towards the God. And Haridasa stated that there is one religion and there is only one God. Haridasa stated that there is only one God, though Hindus and Muslims call him by different names. We are going to see devotional movement in Tamilagam. The Alvars were the devotees of Vishnu, and they were called as Vaishnava Bhakti sages, whereas Nayanmars were the worshippers of Shiva, were called as Saivites. And Saivais composed devotional hymns in Tamil language that was based on the respective god Shiva and his things that were associated on the earth. Poems to Shiva and Vishnu particularly to Krishna, were composed in Tamil and other South Indian languages such as Kannada and Telugu. Vishnu Bhakti or Vaishnavism is based on, so Vishnu Bhakti or Vaishnavam is based on the Vishnu avatar, particularly Krishna and Rama. So it says about the Vishnu avataram and that too particularly about Krishna and Rama. The 12 Tamil Alvar are chiefly known for their immortal hymns. The 12 Alvars were famous for their hymn. And the two out of 12 Alvar, 2 Alvars stand out distinctly for the contribution and promotion of the Bhakti movement. So they are Nammalvar fame lies in the 1102 stanza Thiruvaimozhi. So Nammalvar's Thiruvaimozhi is one of the famous thing that says about the avatar of Vishnu and Krishna. And Nadamuni, who collected the 4000 poems of Nammalvar in the form of Divya Prabandham. So out of 2 Alvar, Nammalvar and Nadamuni played a major role. And in the Divya Prabandham, the Andal, female Alvar Andal, was grown by Periyalvar. So Periyalvar is said to have found a baby called Andal in the Tulasi garden at Srivilliputtur temple. And Periyalvar adopted her. She grew up in the temple town of Srivilliputtur and became known as Andal. She who ruled the Tirupavai. So the Tirupavai was completely ruled by Andal. Next, we are going to see here poems expressing her love for Ranganatha, the incarnation of Vishnu worshipped at a temple at Srirangam, are used in Vaishnava wedding ceremonies in Tamil Nadu. So the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavas, the 12 Alvars played a major role in developing the Vaishnavism, and out of that the 2 Alvars, namely Nammalvar and Nadamuni, played a major role, and Andal, nothing but she who ruled the Tirupavai. The Tirupavai completely explains about the Andal, and her poems were nothing but that was love expressing towards God Vishnu Ranganatha, and that was thing was expressed in the Vaishnava wedding ceremonies in Tamil Nadu. So wherever the Vaishnava's wedding is held, the things will be performed in their wedding also. We are going to see about Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara or Shankaracharya, who lived between 700 to 750 AD, preached the Advaita philosophy. So Adi Shankara preached the Advaita philosophy. The essence of this philosophy is that soul unites with the universal soul, that is Atma unite with the Brahma through the attainment of knowledge. So according to this philosophy, the soul is nothing but Atma will unite with the universal soul Brahma through the attainment of knowledge. He also set up Math's center of learning and worship at Badrinath, Puri, Dwaraka and Sringeri. His masterpiece is the commentary on the Brahma Sutra, which is a fundamental text. So his masterpiece is nothing but Brahma Sutra, which is a fundamental text of the Vedanta school. His commentaries on the principles Upanishad are also considered equally important. He also says that Upanishad are also considered and given equal importance in the Vedanta school. Next we are going to see about Ramanuja. Ramanuja, 11th century Vaishnava saint. He was a Vaishnava saint. Was the most influential thinker of Vaishnavism. He was an influential thinker of Vaishnavism. His philosophy known as Vishishta Advaita. So his philosophy is known as Vishishta Advaita. Proclaims says that even after attaining the unit Brahma, the soul retains identity. So even after reaching the Brahma, the soul will remain its identity. And after a long travel to pilgrimage places, Ramanuja settled in Srirangam. So he established centers to spread his doctrine of devotion, Sri Vaishnavism to God Vishnu and his concern God Lakshmi. So after reaching to so many pilgrimage places, Ramanuja settled in Sri Rangam. He established centers to express a devotion of Sri Vaishnavism to God Vishnu and his confidant Lakshmi. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Vaishnavism spread across India. The Vadagalai Vaishnavism originally flourished around Kanjipuram, which was popularly center for Sanskrit learning. So the Vadagalai Vaishnavism was spread around Kanjipuram and which was a center of learning for Sanskrit. Tengalai Vaishnavism centered on Sri Rangam. So Tengalai Vaishnavism centered on Sri Rangam. Vadagalai sets focused on Vedic literature which is written in Sanskrit, whereas the Tengalai sect stressed the importance of Divya Prabandham written by the 12 Alvar in Tamil. Bhakti movement in North India. While dealing with the religious movement of 14th and 15th century in North India, one has to keep in mind the two very important attitudes which is Hindu religious leader had toward Islam. One group accepted what was best in Islam, while the other adopted a few elements in order to prevent conversation with Islam. Both reacted to Islam. Kabir and Guru Nanak and the other founder of new sects are included in the first group, while the movement in Bengal associated with Chaitanya Deva or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu belong to the later tendency. The exponent of Bhakti movement. It was Ramananda who spread the Bhakti ideology in North India. Vallabhacharya, a Telugu philosopher, built a temple for Lord Krishna near Madura. So Vallabhacharya built a temple for Lord Krishna that was near Madura. Sardas, a blind poet, and musician was associated with the temple as well as that of Agra. His famous collection of poetry is called Sarsaghar. Mirabai was an ultimate devotee of Lord Krishna. Mirabai gained popularity through her bhajans. Chaitanya Deva popularized Krishna worship through ecstatic song and dancing. So Chaitanya Deva was popularized Krishna worship through ecstatic song and dancing. In the 16th century, in Tulasidasa's Hindi retelling of the story of Rama in the Ramacharitam, the sentiment of friendship and loyalty is stressed. So the Ramacharitam says the sentiments of friendship and loyalty is also stressed. Many of those poems continue to be recited and sung often at all night celebrations. So all these poems and things were being recited during the night celebration in many of the famous Sufism in India. The advent of Sufis to India made us to think about the Arab conquest of Sindh. It was gained prominent in the 10th and 11th century during the period of Delhi Sultan. Sufism adopted many native Indian concepts such as yogic postures, music and dance. Sufism found adherent among both the Hindu and Muslim. Sufi in medieval India were divided into three major orders. They were Sishti, Shuhravardi and Firadusi. Sishti, Shuhravardi and Firadusi. Moinuddin Sishti made the Sishti order popular in India. Nizamuddin Auliya of the Sishti order who had a large number of followers. So Nizamuddin Auliya of Sishti who had a large number of followers among the ruling class in Delhi. After the death of Moinuddin Chishti, Nizamuddin Auliya of the Sishti had a major follower in the ruling class of Delhi. Poet Amir Khusro was one of its distinguished followers. Suhrawardi order was founded by an Iranian Safi, Abdul Wahid Abu Najib. Abdul Wahid Abu Najib. The Firadusi order was a branch of Suhrawardi order and its activities were confined to Bihar. So, the Firadusi order was a branch of Suhrawardi order and its activities were confined to Bihar. Next, we are going to see about Kabir. As a Muslim, Kabir came under the influence of Varanasi based Saint Ramananda. He accepted some Hindu ideas and tried to reconcile them in the Islam. However, it was only particularly the Hindus, those of the lower classes, to whom his message appealed. Kabir believed that God is one and formless, even though different religious sects gave him different name and forms. Kabir opposed discrimination on the basis of religion, caste and wealth. Kabir verses were composed in Bhojpuri language mixed with Urdu. The Kabir's Granthawali and the Bijak contain collection of Kabir verses. So Kabir, who wanted to accept the ideas of some Hindu and make them to be adopted in the Islam, but these ideas were accepted only by the few Hindus of the lower classes to whom this message was appealed, and Kabir verses were composed in Bhojpuri language mixed with Urdu. He opposed discrimination on the basis of religion, caste and wealth. Next, we are going to see about Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was born in a village near Lahore in 1469. He showed interest in religious discussion with other saints right from the childhood. Though his parents were very keen to involve him in worldly life, he was inclined toward spiritualism. He visited many holy places and finally settled in Karatarpur near Lahore. He died in the year 1539. To mark the 550th birthday anniversary of Guru Nanak, a corridor is being constructed by the Indian government that will link the Nanak shrine in Gurdaspur with Gurudwara Darbar Sahib at Karatarpur in Pakistan. Guru Nanak teaching. Guru Nanak preached that God is without form and wanted his follower to practice meditation to reach the God. He is considered the first Guru by Sikh. Guru Nanak teachings and the teaching of Guru Nanak formed the basis of Sikhism. So, the teaching of Guru Nanak formed the basis of Sikhism, a new religion founded in the late 15th century. His and his successor teachings are collected in the Guru Granth Sahib, which is a holy book of Sikh. So, which was a holy book of Sikh. Guru Nanak teachings were spread through the group singing of hymns called Kirtan. So, his teachings were preached through the songs and hymns called Kirtan. The devotees gathered in Dharmashala, which became Gurudwara in course of time. Guru Nanak nominated his disciple Lehna to succeed him as the Guru. After Guru Gobind Singh, the holy book Guru Granth Sahib is considered. After the death of Guru Gobind Singh, the holy book Guru Granth Sahib is considered as the Guru and its message is spread by the Khalsa. And this message is spread by the Khalsa, nothing but a member of a disciple brotherhood. So, the meaning pure. Khalsa means meaning pure. The men were given the title Singh. Every member of the Khalsa had to have 5 distinctive things on his person. So, they were Kish, uncut hair, Kangana, comb, Kirpan, dagger, Kada, steel bangle and Kachera, underpants. So, after Guru Gobind Singh, the holy book Guru Granth Sahib is considered the Guru and its message is spread by the Khalsa. So, these were the teachings followed by the Sikhs after the death of the Guru Nanak.